Hey Scorpio, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique bringing you your November energy forecast. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to the October Scorpios that should have received their solar infusion, the light codes, the energy that you're going to need for this next natal year ahead. And happy early birthday to my November Scorpio friends. Your solar return is just around the corner. So coming into November, we are smack dab in the middle of this eclipse season that, of course, has Scorpio and Taurus energies on point. There is a huge transformation taking place in the lives of Scorpio people. A lot of identity issues due to some of the absolute damage and destruction that has been thrown our way in karmic life lessons that will forever change who it is that we are. But of course, Scorpios doing what Scorpios do best, we take the bad, we turn it into something good. We take that pain and we turn it into power. But of course, coming into a brand new month, and again, I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and listen to the November energy forecast that I put out there, where I can go into a little bit more depth on what November is going to bring to us. And I can go into a little bit more detail on what these energy events are going to mean. But coming into November, of course, smack dab in the middle of eclipse season, we still have not been sorted out yet. And Scorpios, of course, where this new moon partial solar eclipse just took place in Scorpio energy on the 25th of October. We are mid-transformation, mid-magic, if you will. We will not see ourselves be sorted out until after the eclipse season closes, which of course will be happening with the full moon total lunar eclipse in Taurus energy. So, some notable mentions. First of all, your rulers. Pluto is direct this month. Of course, we still have a little bit more time before he clears his post-shadow period, but he is moving forward, giving us the power, giving us the control, giving us the authority that we need to have in our lives in order to make the big changes, the big transformations that are needed. And of course, Mars, the co-ruler, just went retrograde at the end of October. Now, this is definitely going to be felt. We are definitely taking a hit with our physical energy. We are having to move inward, really kind of sort out our thoughts, our ideas, really take a good look and examine where it is that our efforts maybe did not get us the kind of result that we were hoping for. But again, Mars will be retrograde, taking us into 2023. So it just means that we're not going to have the physical energy, the physical aggression, the determination, the clear idea on what our passions and desires are. There's a lot of questioning going on, a lot of inner realm processing going on that Mars being retrograde will kind of do to us. So we do kind of have to expect that there is a push and pull going on just with the mere fact that Pluto and Mars, Scorpio's rulers, one is direct, one is retrograde. Coming into November, of course, November being the 11th month, if we're paying attention to the quote unquote normal calendar, the 11th month is a master building number. There's a lot of magic that can take place in November. And of course, we are kind of coming in with eclipse season that is expecting the unexpected. That is a wild card energy anyways. If we are to look at the kind of old but legit calendar, November is the 9th month. The 9th month is very philosophical. It's where we kind of get to explore and discover new perspectives, new beliefs, new understandings. It's when we are kind of contemplative, looking back at all the things that have transpired, trying to make sense of it, trying to pluck out the spiritual lesson out of it, and bringing things to a full circle completion before we start fresh, before we start again. Of course, Scorpio season is alive and well, and we are feeling the depth, the extremes of that. We are feeling the reemergence of self, if you will. And of course, depending on where your birthday is and when you get your solar infusion, you will be feeling like yourself here again very, very soon. So we start November off on a Tuesday. Mars rules over Tuesdays, which means that there is a lot of focus on what it is that we actually want to accomplish, what we are actually passionate about, what it is that we actually desire. But because Mars is retrograde, of course, this is a lot of inner realm reflection. We aren't going to be so aggressive, if you will, in the pursuit of our happiness, our passions, and our desires just yet. We are trying to kind of reformulate a plan and re-strategize, especially due to the fact that, again, eclipse season has not sorted us out yet. We will see that full completion. We will be on a brand new path. We will be pursuing a brand new direction once this eclipse energy kind of closes and shows us the full picture on why certain things had to happen, where it is that we're currently standing, and where it is that we should be aiming our attention, energy, and focus from here. So we have on the 8th, our full moon total lunar eclipse taking place in Taurus energy at the 16th degree. This is going to essentially close the door on eclipse season. We started the eclipse season off with the new moon, partial solar eclipse in Scorpio that, although was very intense, although was a fresh start and a brand new beginning, isn't nearly as impactful, as transformative as this full moon in Taurus is going to be, because it is a total lunar eclipse. And of course, that packs a little bit more of a powerful punch, if you will. Now, for you, Scorpio, this is going to be highlighting your 7th house of partnerships, of relationships, of how it is that you're sharing yourself with the rest of the world. And of course, because you are kind of going through a death, a rebirth with your solar return with your birthday, and kind of re-identifying who it is that you now are, according to some things falling apart and essentially changing the landscape of your reality, you are definitely going to see a little bit of restructuring, a little bit of a recalibration, if you will, with the people in your life, with the connections that you choose to pour in. You will also be seeing where it is that new foundations, new connections, new relationships need to be kind of brought to life. Because this is eclipse energy, please pay attention to who enters into your realm at this particular point in time, because they are a soul family member. They are divinely scripted to enter into your reality at this time and help you grow, help you build, help you kind of bring some of the dreams, bring some of the elements that you've been trying to manifest to life. So we got that going for us. Now on the 16th, we have Venus moving out of Scorpio energy and moving into Sagittarius energy. Of course, Sagittarius energy is right around the corner once Scorpio season comes to an end, and Venus is going to be the first inner planet, if you will, to jump into Sagittarian energy. Now, Venus, being the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money, she did a deep dive in Scorpio energy. She had to kind of face her deepest, darkest fears in order to recognize what is preventing her from actually reaching her deepest, darkest desires. She had a little bit of a tough love life lesson dealing with the shadow realm of her emotions, her confidence, her self-worth. And, we kind of peeled back the layers on what it is that how it is we feel about ourselves, what it is we actually want to pursue in our lives. Venus, of course, bringing us into the heart chakra and making us kind of see where new worth, new value is emerging in our life, what is important to us, all based off of what makes our heart happy, what is bringing a sense of stability and balance into our lives, especially into our relationships, where, we have to kind of balance the scales and make things fair, where justice needs to be restored, where harmony needs to kind of happen. And now into Sag energy, we are definitely going to be a little bit more adventurous and explore outside of what we consider to be our comfort zone to see what it is that we want to pursue from here. Venus being in Sagittarian energy, it is a fire energy. She is a little bit more adventurous, a little bit more eager to open up. She's definitely more positive and optimistic, more confident. She just wants to have a good time. She wants to explore outside of her comfort zone. She really wants to kind of dabble in some of the things that she never would have considered thus far. And it's definitely going to be a welcomed energy for everyone to kind of dabble in. Venus moving into Sagittarius Sagittarian energy is going to be illuminating your second house. And your second house is where we essentially bring things to life, where we give birth to new elements in our lives, especially in our physical realms where routines are concerned, where taking care of ourselves, self-love, self-nurturing is concerned, where new relationships get formed or rebalanced, and where there's a new pursuit of value and worth, especially where money matters are concerned. Again, Venus being in Sag just wants to explore, and this fire energy is a good energy for us to use to initiate something new, to be excited about life and again, to renew our faith, to renew our self-esteem, renew our confidence in what it is that we actually believe is possible. And in this second house, we are getting down to the nitty-gritty on what needs to be built, what needs to be brought to life, where stability needs to be a thing in order for us to start building upon that strong foundation and start kind of choosing elements in our life that not only make us happy, but that are more aligned with our ever-changing values. On Thursday, November 17th, we have Mercury entering into Sagittarius energy, and you best believe that this is going to be a welcome change to our mental plane. Reason being, in Scorpio energy, of course, we were very deep, very dark, very probing. We had to analyze our shadow in order to integrate that, accept that, really kind of merge that with our light so that we can stand in a beautiful, beautiful placement of power. And Mercury, of course, being in Scorpio meant that our intuition was on point. We were tapping more into our psychic abilities than anything else, letting that kind of lead us into thought, into asking the kind of questions that we absolutely need to be asking, not only of ourselves, but the people that we are choosing to allow to still stay in our lives. And Mercury now moving into Sagittarius, we are thinking big. We may have been a little bit too focused on the smaller details of our tough love life experiences while in Scorpio energy. But of course, in Sagittarian energy, we are optimistic, we are confident, we are seeing the big picture. We might be a little bit scatterbrained, I will say that. And we do really have to practice using a filter because we just tend to kind of be very straightforward and blurt out things that probably shouldn't be said in the way that we say them. However, we're getting straight to the point. We've really come to a lot of aha moments while in Scorpio energy, and now we feel the confidence, we feel the support in order to truly express ourselves, those big ideas, those big emotions, what it is that we've been kind of keeping into our inner realm and keeping to ourselves now wants to come out, and it's coming out without a filter. And that's why we have to work extra hard in order to make sure that we are kind of, being consciously aware of how things are being said, because they're often not received in the way that we wish that they would be. We have on the 22nd, the sun moving out of Scorpio season. Say goodbye to Scorpio season, my Scorpio friends. And the sun will be moving into Sagittarius energy. Now, although Scorpios love Scorpio season, we are the only ones that love Scorpio season. And even that, most of us are very challenged in Scorpio season. With Sagittarius season rolling in, we start to see the bigger picture. We kind of crawl out of the depths of the darkness, out of the depths of hell, if you will, because that's where many of us found ourselves in Scorpio energy. And we're starting to see the light again. We're starting to pump ourselves up. We're starting to see the philosophical or spiritual reasons for why certain karmic situations had to happen to us. We are plucking out the silver linings. We are trying to see the grander perspective here. We are amping ourselves up to go on a little bit of a brand new adventure, and seeing as we are in a brand new solar year, there's no better time for us to kind of put all of our energy and effort into busting out of our comfort zones and really trying to see what it is that we can create for ourselves, giving ourselves a solid foundation to build upon as we move through our next natal year. Of course, this is Sag energy, which means that we have the Sag energy illuminating our second house. Now, the second house, again, is about building and creating, about what it is that we need to bring to life, what it is that we want to kind of stabilize in our life so that we can build new dreams, new energies upon it. And in the second house, this is all because we have a brand new perception of who it is that we are, of our worth, of what it is that we actually desire, what it is that our heart actually wants us to pursue. And it is going to be an absolutely good jam to get down upon, because the fire energy means that we have a little bit of spark, a little bit of passion, a little bit of life force energy pushing us to dig deep and to actually do what we have to do to be productive and actually see some of these elements be born. On November 23rd, we have the new moon taking place in Sagittarius at 1 degree 38 minutes. This is a pretty fresh, pretty brand new beginning, if I do say so myself. And because Sagittarius energy represented by the Archer, we need to really define a direction, an intent, a dream, a vision, a goal. Now, many of us have been lacking that clarity for a very long time. Of course, eclipse season should have clarified a lot, regardless of whether it clarified what it is that you no longer want and what it is you no longer want to experience, or whether it kind of clearly showed you what it is that you do want and what it is that you do want to experience. We have more information now than we've had even a month ago. And from that, we should be able to kind of hone in on what it is that we want to direct our energy, our love, our attention in from here. I want you to think big. This is where we kind of grasp a vision, grasp a dream for the future, where we kind of hype ourselves up to the possibilities of what we can actually bring to life. But we have to be able to focus in on an intent. Again, the downfall to Sagittarian energy is that we're unfocused, we're scatterbrained. That fire energy wants to kind of jump into all these different experiences and explore new things and discover new realms of understanding. And because of that, we do have a hard time focusing in. We do have a hard time identifying the direction that we want to take. But this new moon in Sag energy, being at a 1 degree, is a brand new clean slate. It's a brand new beginning that we will likely be playing out for the next 2.5 years. So we do have to take the time to get our mind right, to kind of boost ourselves up, to dream that bigger dream, to just infuse it with all the positive vibes that we can possibly kind of infuse it with in order for us to plant the seeds of intention under this new moon. And of course, be patient enough to actually see it manifest. What's interesting is that only hours after the new moon actually peaks, we have Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius energy and Sagittarius season, who is retrograde, crept back into Piscean energy there towards the end of October, is now going direct in Pisces energy at 28 degrees. So this is a pretty big deal. Jupiter, of course, is all about growth, all about expansion, all about beliefs and blessings and abundance. We're definitely feeling big. We have big dreams. We're feeling big emotions. We're having big ideas, having big thoughts. We have a lot that we want more of. And Jupiter's retrograde creeping back into that Piscean energy should have given us a little bit of a refresh, if you will. It was time for us to reconnect to our higher selves, to our spirituality, to empathy and compassion for some of the hardships that we would have had to struggle through. And at 28 degrees, it is at the ending point, the critical degrees of Pisces energy, which means that we get to begin again. We get to start moving forward again. And a lot of this is going to take us back to the beginning of the year of 2022, while Jupiter was kind of entering into the last degrees of this Piscean energy before we dove into Aries energy in May. So Jupiter going direct now means that we are definitely going to be seeing how much growth we're able to accomplish, how much improvements we're able to make, compounded with the eclipse energy that is sorting us out. And of course, coming out of Scorpio season, the transformations that were initiated and activated, we are definitely going to see how those pieces are going to fall together as well. This is going to put us in a situation where we're feeling more confident, or we are feeling more aligned with what it is that we want to bring to life, this is going to play into the new moon, really setting a huge magnifying glass down on what it is we actually want to experience, what our intentions are, what our direction is. And of course, with this Piscean energy, we are hopped up on our higher selves. Our intuition is moving at full force. Our spirituality is leading us into this next chapter. And we are feeling, like I said, a little bit refreshed from doing that deep dive into that Piscean waters so that we could remember our mission, remember what it is that we love to do, and remember what it is that we set out to pursue at the beginning of the year. So that is the astrology for November. There are a couple of messages that I would like for you to focus on as you move through the month. The very first thing is to really stand in your power. Now, what does that mean? Well, as a Scorpio, you are an alchemist. You are all about reinventing yourself through a certain death and then through a certain rebirth. But with all of this change, with all of these ups and downs, what most Scorpios lack is a solid foundation. And a solid foundation when it comes to trusting that you have the skills, you have the resources to build the kind of reality that your heart and your soul is asking you to pursue. There seems to be a couple of significant people in your life that you kind of have accepted as, safe enough to allow to get close to you. I'm going to recommend that if you have any friends that are earth energy, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn especially, because Scorpios get along with Capricorns really, really well, that you let them in a little bit more than what it is that you've already allowed them to do. Reason being, they are very down to earth, obviously, earth energy. They have a lot of wisdom. Capricorn energies in particular have a innate ability to manage situations as you do and can bring you back down to earth as far as all of the emotions that kind of get a little bit revved up, a little bit overwhelming for you, that kind of muddy the picture. Our earth friends brings a lot of logic and practicality to our lives, to our plans, to our perspective. And it feels like there is a masculine earth energy not far from your inner circle that would be a true asset for you to let and allow to get a little bit closer to you, because I do feel that they would have a lot of support, a lot of encouragement, a lot of wisdom, a lot of resources that they could definitely lend you in order to get through what is going to be a month of building for you. Especially seeing how all the Sagittarian aspects are in your second house of worth and value and building and creation and giving birth to something new. This is stability through and through. And, Jupiter going direct in Pisces, again, is opening up that heart chakra in the fifth house, really getting you in alignment with what it is that you actually feel a mission, a purpose to actually pursue and bring to life. And there is a lot of reconnection that needs to happen to your heart space, because again, my Scorpio friends tend to retreat and build those walls up pretty damn tall, pretty damn thick in order to protect ourselves from the outside world, and then realize later on that we've actually built a prison and we are keeping ourselves from true connection, from happiness, from joy, and even from the amount of creativity that we allow to flow through us. So definitely let that earth energy friend in a little bit closer to you. They do have a lot of great perspectives, a lot of great ideas, and a lot of great resources that they would be happy to lend you and to give you a little bit of support in building this brand new foundation for you for your new natal year. Now, the guides are kind of illuminating the fact, especially mid-month, that you're going to feel a little bit crazy, a little bit chaotic, especially in your emotional realm, especially where your, I'm going to say, goals are concerned. It feels like there are too many irons in the fire. It feels like you're having a hard time trying to focus in on what needs to be done in what order. It does feel like there is a lot of competitive ideas conflicting within you, like you're being torn, so to speak. And again, just keep in mind that Mars, your co-ruler, is retrograde, which means that we are kind of we're stuck within ourselves debating the mental plane. Mars is retrograde in Gemini. That is the mental plane. That is ideas. That is mental processing. That is thought. And there's a lot of conflict coming up because our heart and our head don't seem to be in agreement as of yet. We just had eclipse season thrown at us, wild card energies coming left, right, and center. A very confusing time. And then, of course, mid-month is when Venus, the heart chakra, dives into Sagittarian energy, which is supposed to lighten the vibe. But again, we are unfocused. We are not able to really define what it is that our heart is asking us to pursue. And because, my Scorpio friends are all about the deep emotions, we might be looking into things a little bit too much here. And because of that, we're creating a lot of conflict around some of the opportunities that we actually want to bring to life and some of the chapters that we actually want to initiate. I'm going to say by the end of the month, we are going to feel a lot more like ourselves, thankfully. We're going to feel that life force energy come back into our lives. We are going to be able to redefine the path in which we desire to walk, and we are going to see things be brought full circle. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities that are still hidden away from our knowingness coming into November. But a lot of that, again, is because we're in eclipse season. And eclipse season hides things from us and reveals them at a later time. And I do feel that as we move into December, things are going to be a lot more clear, especially with the opportunities, with the direction, with the path that you need to put all your time and energy and attention into. The conflict that you would have had in the middle of the month trying to kind of pick which path and direction you need to move in will be very clear. And especially once Jupiter goes direct at that Pisces energy, the 28th degree in Pisces energy, a sister water sign to you, opening up your heart space, allowing you to get very real, very raw, very vulnerable with yourself with no guards up, and really allowing you to get in touch with what it is that makes you excited, that brings a smile to your face, to your heart space, that actually makes you a little bit, I'm going to say, jittery, but in a good way, to actually jump into something new and bring something new to life. So you're definitely going to see how things are piecing together by the end of November. And it's a good time for things to come together as we enter into the final month of the year, because you're definitely going to have a small window of opportunity to make a huge amount of progress, setting the foundation down for what it is that you will be building upon as you move into 2023. So that's all that I have for you this month, Scorpio. I hope you have a beautiful birthday, a beautiful start to your new natal year, and a beautiful November. I'm sending you nothing but love, and we'll talk to you soon.